Ace Podcast.
Hey, this is Aaron.
And this is Craig.
And you're listening to my favorite podcast, Don't Wake the Kids.
On the Ace Podcast Network.
We're both sitting here dancing to
I love that so fucking much.
So, welcome back to Don't Wake the Kids.
You are on the right show.
Yeah, this is Randall.
I'm John.
That's
Hi.
John. That's John.
What's up?
We obviously have new intro music.
I fucking think it's the greatest.
If you listen to the last two episodes, they were with my buddy Jacob from the Refund Theater podcast.
Yes.
And if you listen to Refund Theater, the same person that made their intro music got us some new intro music. Ashley, Jacob's wife.
And it's so good. And you can tell, like, you played the Refund Theater intro, and, like, you can tell it's the same person, but it's not the same intro.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, she's good.
Yeah, I played it. What he meant is I played it for him before we listened to this because he
Yeah.
hadn't heard it before, and it's like the same. It's like a different song from the same band.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking sweet.
I fucking dig it.
But yeah, so thank you, Ashley, for that. Oh, I'm so excited about it. I love Norma Jean. I love 1 Million Watts, which is the song we used previously. But now we have our own that no one else will ever use. It's ours.
It is unique to us.
That is Don't Wake the Kids in music form.
It is. It's
When you've got the kids laughing
and they're just like shh because I'm yelling.
and don't wake them.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to wake up anyways.
Fuck, my daughter's still not asleep.
My God.
It's 10:35. She went to bed at 8 and she's still not asleep.
You got to stop giving your kids meth.
She had fried chicken. Fried chicken makes that kid go apeshit.
Weirdly enough, I also had fried chicken today.
Huh.
There's been weird coincidences going on today. What was the other one right when I walked in the door?
Heartburn.
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as you walked in the door, it just like heartburn hit me. It almost knocked me down because it hit me so hard, and I told him that I had heartburn.
Maybe you're pregnant and I'm having sympathy.
Well, my wife is pregnant, so maybe I'm having the sympathy heartburn from her, and you caught it off me.
You son of a bitch. How dare you?
Well, that does not have anything to do with what we're talking about today. We are jumping into Black Mirror Season 4.
Yes, we're on a mini series right now from what we normally do.
This is kind of what we normally do. If you look back at our previous episodes, we did Season 3, and when we were done with that, we said we're not going to do it again. That was fun, but it was a one-time thing. But Black Mirror is just so fucking good. We couldn't help but do it again. So we're doing it again.
I was too fucking hyped for Season 4 coming out to like not in some way address the fucking show.
It's just like, I mean, we could do like we were doing with Game of Thrones, because we both love Game of Thrones.
Indeed.
And Game of Thrones is very detailed, and you could easily have a podcast just on that, which, I mean, there fucking are. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of Black Mirror only podcasts. We're not those kind of ladies.
No. I mean, like, it's because then you'd only like get 6 episodes a year, and what fun is that?
I guess unless you're gonna do like several episodes on one episode.
On one show, yeah.
But yeah, no, we are taking a break from our normal, I guess, comedy segments.
Regular
bullshit.
foolishness.
And we're gonna start off this week by jumping into episode 1 of season 4 of Black Mirror, titled USS Callister.
I went into the season blind. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
same.
watch, I knew it was coming out, but I don't like when it's shit like this, I don't want to watch trailers because, like, I know it's going to be good, so I don't want to spoil a single fucking aspect of it. And the internet being what it is, like, there's shit you can't avoid.
Yeah.
Like, we both knew this was the Star Trek episode.
Right.
But I I
And
didn't.
only because of the title.
Well, I think I saw pictures
Yeah,
of them in their
I might have seen
uniforms.
that, just the picture with the title, like the title screen. I don't know. But yes, at the beginning of last year, I wouldn't call it a New Year's resolution because I don't do those.
Yeah.
But I told myself that starting in 2017, I wasn't going to allow trailers and discussions of trailers or anything like that to spoil anything that I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
Unless it's something that I'm like
Completely clueless
right,
about.
right.
Yeah.
If it's something I like, Game of Thrones or Black Mirror or
Just shit you already
Star
know.
Trek, the last Jesus Christ. The Star Trek,
Ooh.
Star Wars The Last Jedi, I went into that completely blind. I didn't read anything about it leading up to it. I didn't watch any trailers, and I went opening night and saw it.
Yeah, and that's like I never consciously made the decision to do that myself, but that's how I do.
It's just
Shit
it's
like
so
that.
much nicer to not know what to expect when you go into something.
Yeah, because the fucking worst is having high expectations for something and then it ends up sucking shit.
Yeah.
Or
Nobody wants to suck shit.
Yeah, and or going into something you have low expectations of, and then you've prejudged it, so at that point you're just looking for the flaws. And so you don't want to do that kind of shit.
No, and Black Mirror it's one of those shows where, everything's different. Every episode is different. They're not connected. I mean, there are some subtle connections, but plot-wise, there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's not serialized.
It's episodic. Is that the right? Am I using that wrong?
I think
I'm using
episodic
that wrong.
is Black Mirror. Serialized
Yeah.
is like shit, like where it's just one long story.
You could honestly look. I don't know why I'm explaining this. Everyone listening to this has watched Black Mirror. And if you
Honest to
haven't,
God.
watch it and come back. Pause this right now. Hit the pause button because
go
we're
watch episode 1.
We're episode 1 of season 4. And it doesn't matter if you haven't seen seasons 1, 2, or 3. Every episode is different. You can look at every episode like a movie.
And the lengthwise, they kind of are. I mean, they're not.
You've got between an hour and an hour and a half.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Oh, goddamn.
But
love this fucking show.
It is great. We're about to spoil the shit out of season 4, episode 1.
Every little detail.
Almost every little detail. We're gonna gloss over some stuff, but we're gonna go through this episode as it happens.
Yeah.
So, are you ready?
I have to get my shitty
get
notes
your notes
out. And there they are. All right, let's do this shit.
Do it.
All
Indeed.
right. So, this episode, like I said, it's titled USS Callister. It starts out like on the bridge of a Star Trek-esque ship.
Yeah, it's very goofy, like 60s science fiction-y.
Yeah,
looking.
like the visual of it is very 60s. It looks like it's a big joke starting out, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially compared to previous episodes.
Yeah, because Black Mirror is like a dark kind of series, and this starts out like very like old Star Trek was like super bright and colorful and shit like that. And my first note that I'm just so up my own ass about right now is that when the show opens, the aspect ratio is 4:3 instead of 16:9.
You know what? I didn't even notice that, but you're right.
God damn right. I'm just patting myself on the back for picking that shit up. But yeah,
Nice.
So like when the show opens, it's not widescreen. Basically, it's like you're looking at it at a square fat TV.
It almost looks Technicolor.
Yeah, it's super.
So it's like money starts playing as Dorothy walks out of the house into Oz.
Yeah, like oversaturated almost.
Yeah,
but on purpose.
Right. Like there's a blue alien and she's very fucking blue.
She's super blue. It's like
she's beautiful too.
What was it in Jane and Silent Bob? Like they were talking about there he goes. Homeboy fucked a Martian once.
Which movie was that?
I think it was Jane and Silent Bob Strike Back.
I don't remember.
Come on, Kevin Smith fan.
I don't remember that. I mean, all I can think of is Jason Biggs. Like they talk about him fucking the pie.
No, it wasn't the pie fucker.
Huh.
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Jane and Silent Bob Strike Back.
You might be making it up.
And
I might be wrong.
I'm not making it up. My memory's shit. but I latch on to certain things, and I'm certain about those certain things.
All right. Well, on the bridge of the USS Callister, we see Captain Daly. He's very William Shatner-esque looking.
Yeah, very.
And I've already said esque twice in this episode.
It's
I'm done.
No, you're not. It's gonna keep happening.
But so they're getting attacked by this enemy ship. I think he calls the enemy Baldak or Baldak.
Yeah, it's some weird,
Something
goofy
like that.
science fiction.
And there's
made-up
something
shit.
going on, like Baldak has a crystal or something. I don't remember.
It was
specifically what
some kind of a
It's like a
super weapon.
Yeah, like a
thing.
weapon that they're trying to get back from Baldak. Baldak's shooting them, and Captain Daly tells him, not to shoot back. Then he comes up with a plan. Like the crew's panicking. They think they're about to die.
Yeah.
So Captain Daly, he's all calm and collected, and he tells them to fly into this like ion storm cloud thing to super power up their phaser cannons so that they can actually penetrate his shields.
Yeah, it's science fiction is great to me because a lot of it they're just making up. They're just making shit up.
That's all it is. It's just like, this doesn't have to make sense. Let's just fucking do it.
Yeah, but if you follow the logic, like good science fiction will, even though it's made up bullshit, it will make sense in context of, the universe that they're in or whatever.
Like H.G. Wells, I would probably say is my all-time favorite science fiction author. The Time Machine, War of the Worlds, The
Indeed.
Invisible Man. Like, all of his sci-fi is, if you don't know anything about science, you read his books. But fuck, even if you do know about science, you read his books and everything in it sounds so logical.
Yeah.
That it could be real.
And I've been like binging on Star Treks lately just to have something to do. And I was watching Deep Space Nine, and there was this one episode in particular where fucking the guy's kid was trapped in some kind of a fucking time loop or some shit like that, and he only got to see him like every so often because they were talking about rubber banding back and forth. I can't explain it very well at all, but it was complete nonsense, but it made sense.
Yeah.
In the context of the universe that was in. And I admire that shit about science fiction like so hard.
Which they actually kind of touch on that later on in the episode.
They do.
We'll get there. Well, we won't get there because I didn't take a note about it, and I don't know if you did. So I'm just going to go ahead and mention. I won't spoil it. Well, fuck, everybody that's listening has heard it. So Nanette Cole, she's a science officer. The first time that she actually sits down to use the console, she doesn't know what to do. And one of the other crew members, I don't remember who it was, like Shania or whatever her name was, she tells her, just press a button. They're all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So-
pretty much the gist of science
so
fiction.
As Daly's giving these commands, everybody on the crew is playing along. They're just doing whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter what they do. Whatever he says is going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It follows the fucking plot. It's like playing a video game and you're just mashing the
Literally.
fucking buttons and like
Yeah.
you all of a sudden do some really cool shit.
Right.
That's science fiction in a nutshell.
But plot-wise, we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
So Daly, he orders them to shoot their their super powered up cannons at the enemy's ship, Baldak's ship, and it penetrates his armor and penetrates the hull.
Yeah, it was one shot, one kill
Right.
on that, and like that part bugged me a little bit, but for just the science, like following the science
Cheesy
fiction,
sci-fi, it worked.
yeah, like it worked, but in universe context, I'm like, come on, that motherfucker had shields and his hull plating was blah blah blah.
But I mean, they talked it up. He did say we go into this ion cloud, it will power up our cannons to make them so much stronger.
Yeah, true.
So
I don't know. I'm just nitpicking.
But yeah, he penetrates the hull, and Baldak calls them up, and they get into this back and forth. I'm not going to get into that, but Captain Daly gives him the chance to surrender, and Baldak declines, so he blows up his ship. Right after they blow up the ship, one of the crew members says that he's escaping in an escape pod.
Of
And
course.
so Captain Daly says, we'll get him another time.
Yeah.
Just let them go. And then they all celebrate, and they're all praising Captain Daly for being all high and mighty. They love him. The women kiss him.
And this was this was the first moment in the show where I'm like, because again, going into it blind, like all I saw was the pictures.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
Like
I
there's
didn't know
so
what
much
was-
cheese in this moment.
Yeah, I didn't know what was coming up, and I'm like, this is a simulation.
Like one of the crew members later on, you find out it's Walton. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I doubted you."
Yeah, he was too bootlicky.
Oh yeah, he's hamming it up every scene that he's in.
Yeah, and
where he's playing this part.
It's so insincere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also Walton, he's like one of those people who's that guy. Like he's been in a ton of shit. Like,
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
saying he's been in Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld was a great one he's in.
He was on House of Cards as the hacker guy.
I haven't watched House of Cards. I need to.
Kevin Spacey, I mean, he taints shit a little bit. But also, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, one of the most hilarious side characters in the show. He's one of the McPoyles, which is like this weird incesty bunch.
Yeah.
And Always Sunny is like a comedy show, so like, you know, it's not all Game of Thrones.
It's not
seriously.
like a comedy show. I would say it is a comedy show.
Yeah, it's a comedy show. But yeah, the McPoy, like the guy's range is fucking incredible. I don't remember what the hell his name was, but
yeah, and I guess since you mentioned that, Captain Daly is Meth Damon from Breaking Bad. He plays Todd. I started calling him Meth Damon when I was watching the show because he looks like he could be Matt Damon's brother almost. And with the whole Breaking Bad thing, I just started calling him Meth Damon. And then I found out that was actually like an internet thing. People call him Meth Damon.
Oh, I get so annoyed when I think I'm clever and then
I fucking hate it.
Oh, it's so shitty. But Meth Damon, like his voice too, he sounds like Matt Damon. Like they have to
I don't
be...
see that.
I didn't really hear it on the first viewing, but then when you told me Meth Damon, like I started looking for it, and maybe it's, you know, confirmation bias or some shit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he sounds like him.
Yeah, but so that ends. That whole scene on the USS Callister is over, and we see Captain Daly looking like a normal everyday person in a elevator.
Yeah, and like his whole the guy's a great actor.
He is. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, his whole like body language.
He's very timid.
Yeah, he's a super timid. Like the hairstyle's different. The guy's wearing glasses. He's got a fucking bald spot in the back of his head.
He's wearing a beanie.
Yeah, well, when he takes his hat off too, you can tell like his haircut.
That really strikes a chord with you, doesn't it?
Shut your face. So, damn it! Now I forgot where I was going because that burn was too good. You son of a bitch.
You're talking about Meth Damon's haircut.
Oh yeah, so like when they're in on the Star Trek part, like it's super a super crisp haircut. Like,
oh yeah, and did you notice later on, like he's obviously got so much hairspray in it later on when they're in the water and she splashes him.
Barely moves. Yeah. Oh, so good.
But anyway, so he gets out of the elevator and you can see he's very timid. He's a weak-minded. He has no confidence.
He's not that guy. Like his posture's slumped.
Yeah.
Like when he's on the ship, like he's just very upright and heroic, and then outside of that, he's
like the guy that walks down the hallway looking at the floor so he doesn't have to make eye contact with everybody.
That is who he is.
As he's walking through the office, you can see that no one really respects him. You don't know who he is at this point, but you can tell that nobody cares who he is.
Yeah, he's like Office Space. Milton.
Oh, I was about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Milton from Office Space, except not funny, just
like
sad.
If Milton ran the office from Office Space, I don't know what the company is.
I can't remember. Initech. That's who it
Initech.
was. Yeah. Or Inatrobe?
Something. In a something.
Yeah.
And you also notice as he's walking through, a lot of the people in the office are crew members of the USS Callister that we saw in that opening scene.
Yeah. I mean, Blue Lady, not quite the spot
She's
on match.
there, yeah. I mean,
but once
she's
you hear
not blue in real life.
Yeah, once you hear the voice, it's like, there she is.
Also, as he's walking through, you see people laying in chairs. Their eyes are all whited out, and they've got little white dots on their temples.
Yeah, and that was like a super, like it's a Black Mirror
in playtest, the virtual reality game.
Yes.
Did he have the white dot? I don't remember that.
It wasn't exactly the same, but like it's kind of a theme with the show that shit connect. I think his was in the back.
That's right.
like
it
the
was on
Matrix.
his neck.
But
That's
it's
right.
always something that plugs into your fucking head.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, I mean, it's logical in a sci-fi sense.
Oh, yeah.
Where else would you're not going to plug it into your dick and expect to be transported
Well,
into this video game?
There are things you can plug into your USB on your computer.
I just don't. Okay, moving on. As he's walking through the office, also he like trips over a bag, and
Yeah.
it just kind of it reinforces the fact that
he's a fucking nudge.
he's a nobody to these people. But then he gets to his office, and you see on the door that he's the chief technical officer of Callister Incorporated. Callister being the name of that ship, which we find out he named the company that he co-owns with Walton, who worships him in that opening scene. They named it after Space Fleet, which is like a TV show from the 60s that he's obsessed with.
Yeah.
Which we'll kind of get to that here in a minute. But as he's in his office, a woman knocks on his door.
Well, actually, before we even get to that, like the dichotomy of who he was on the bridge of the ship versus who he is in real life.
It's like anybody on the internet.
Exactly. Like he's a fucking internet badass. Like he's the guy who on fucking YouTube comments of like a fight,
Yeah.
he'll be like, "Oh, like there's no fucking way anybody would handle me like that. I
Right,
fucking do karate and fucking
But then
bullshit."
you meet them in person. What did I just say?
You meet them in person.
Okay, in my head, hold on.
I'm trying to follow the logic on this.
Beers.
Yeah.
Well, when I think that's what I meant to say, but in my head it sounded so much different. Anyways, that person on the internet, you meet them in real life, and they are timid and they are weak and they don't want confrontation.
And the thing, like it's weird how like, and we've both kind of, I wouldn't say grown up on the internet because we're kind of like too old for that, but
I got into the internet stuff when I was 13. I would say I grew up on the internet. You were in your 20s when the internet was invented.
I wasn't that old. Well, because like my internet usage goes like super fucking old school. Like I used to call. Do you even know what a BBS is?
A big black sandwich?
No. Anyway, so my first internet experience was with BBSs and 2400 baud modems.
Yeah, I know about 2400 baud modems.
So like I was on.
What does BBS stand for?
It was bulletin.
If it's not
bulletin board system.
Oh, okay. I mean, yes, I had been on those, but I didn't know the lingo apparently.
Yeah.
Because I was 13.
It was like the precursor to
Chat
AOL
rooms, kind of.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was chat rooms and they had games and shit on them. But like, so going back to my original fucking point that we just completely digressed off of for like 5 minutes now, but like we both know you can just tell when somebody's full of shit.
Yeah.
On the internet at this point. So that's what this guy was. He was just that fucking full of shit.
Which, I mean,
dipshit.
At this point watching it, we don't know exactly what that was that we saw in that opening scene.
No, not at all. But
once you realize that, yes, what you're
context,
saying.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you can kind of suss out that, he's, whether or not it was a dream, like there was.
So that was my question was this a dream? Was this like his fantasy, or is this something that he created in his mind that's actually playing out?
Yeah, and I didn't know that either, but like I knew that the captain guy that he was pretending to be was who he wishes he was.
Right.
And fuck that shit. Pisses me off so bad. Like this is when I immediately started losing not having no sympathy for this dude.
Yeah.
At this point,
well, it's see, I didn't. It wasn't at that point for me yet, because in that opening scene on the USS Callister, he's awesome. Everyone loves him. Now I can see that he's not that guy, but I kind of feel bad for him because, like, obviously he wants people to like him.
Yeah.
And he's just not able to be that person. So I was more feeling bad for him. I didn't think of him as a total dickhead that he turns out to be.
Yeah, and I like even at that same point in the show, I'm like, fuck this guy, because like it's like, why pretend to be some shit that you're not when you can just be the thing you want to be.
But that's what the internet's for.
Fuck that.
Liberal agenda. Sorry. Okay, we're 25 minutes into this and we've barely scraped on the episode.
I love
this
Black
is
Mirror
gonna
so
be
much.
a long one.
Oh.
Okay, so fuck, where were we? Nanette Cole knocks on his door, introduces herself. Nanette Cole is played by, I can't remember the actress's name.
It was Kristen something.
Milioti?
It was very Italian sounding, so I'm going to say that's right.
Sounds right, but I want to say it's wrong. I'm going to say it's wrong so that if it's right, I sound better.
Sounds good.
Okay. Nanette Cole is played by the mother from How I Met Your Mother. She is so fucking cute. I love that actress.
She's got Disney eyes. You know how
my wife is like that.
Anything on Disney, like the eyes are just super fucking big. Her eyes are enormous, but not weird. It's enormous and adorable.
Yeah. Like if my wife wasn't covered in tattoos with purple and whatnot hair, she has that kind of face.
Fish.
Yes,
fish.
But anyway, she knocks on the door and introduces herself because she wants to meet Robert Daly, the creator of Infinity. That she loves his beautiful code.
Yeah, and he's like the true genius behind what's going on.
Yeah, so
but
Callister Inc.
He's shit at marketing. So.
Right. Well, he's just. I'll move on here because what I was about to say kind of ties in. First, she notices his collection of Space Fleet memorabilia.
Yeah.
Which Space Fleet is what that opening scene was based off of.
And they can't say Star Trek.
Right,
because
right.
of, copyright.
But
shit.
that's literally just what it is.
Yeah.
And they talk about it, and he explains how much he loves it and how ahead of its time it was, and that he named the company after Callister. The USS Callister is the name of the ship on the show. He named the company Callister Inc. But Walton, the guy that was praising him at the beginning, is his co-owner. He's the CEO.
Yeah, he's the marketing guy.
When he comes in, he introduces himself to Nanette. Well, first he demands that the update for the Infinity, the game that they have built, be ready before Christmas. And then
and the way that they shot it is from, and I swear to God, I thought it was Walter until you said Walter.
I never thought Walter.
I just kept hearing Walter, but the way that it's shot, it's from his point of view, and he's a relatively stout guy compared to Cole. And so you don't even see her in the shot.
Walton's a lot smaller than Daly.
No, I'm talking about Daly is stout compared to.
Oh man, names just got all kinds of fucked up in my head. Gotcha.
Yeah, so a girl is smaller than a guy is what I was just getting at. But so the way they shot it, I mean, she's back far enough that McPoyle doesn't even realize that there's another person in the fucking room. So he's punking the fucking half owner of the company in front of one of his subordinates.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck you, McPoyle. I hated that guy at that moment.
He's the real life Walton is the exact opposite of his character on the USS Callister.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He's on the Callister, he's a little, I don't even know.
He's like a little subservient bootlicker.
But in real life, he loves himself, he loves women, and he is the best at everything and everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. He's one of those guys, but not he's
very confident.
His introduction paints him to be a piece of shit. And then
just a douche.
As you get into it, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so he demands the update be ready before Christmas, and then he sees Nanette and he introduces himself and then offers to give her a tour since it's her first day. So he takes her off.
Yeah, and it's like a super douchey
Yeah. It's like I'm gonna fuck this intern type of thing.
Yes.
But so while that's going on, Daly goes over to talk to a programmer about the upcoming update, and he kind of, while they're talking, he kind of loses focus and is watching Nanette and Walton. Which in that moment, if you pay attention, if you haven't noticed this, if you've already watched it, rewatch this scene. Rewatch the whole episode because it's great.
Yeah.
But rewatch this scene, and while Daly is standing there talking to Dudani. Is that his name?
I do not remember.
I think it was Dudani.
Sounds good.
But while he's talking to, while Dudani is telling him about the update, and he's not really paying attention, he's watching Walton and Nanette. To the left, in a black shirt, is Kirsten Dunst, who is actually in real life engaged to Meth Damon.
Yeah, and until you pointed that out, literally, I had no fucking idea.
I did a little research.
Yeah.
So some of these facts I'm not pulling off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was super proud of my, like, 4:3 ratio thing.
Yeah, I'm happy with you there.
Thanks.
I'll get a cookie for you in the house.
Oh my god, I want a cookie so bad right now. But fuck, like there's people who just their attention to like whoever found this out is the Sherlock Holmes of fucking TV, because god damn, it is a a second cameo.
I watched the episode twice and I did not catch her. I mean, I'm very narrow minded and I was paying much more attention to the main characters. I didn't even see her because literally you blink and you miss it.
Yeah, I mean it is the very definition of fucking Easter egg. Like,
yeah,
it's just holy shit.
Yeah, but so Daly gives Dudani. I'm just gonna call him that. I think that's his name.
Guess
he gives him an absent-minded approval to go ahead and add these updates. That's gonna prolong the update time frame like 10 days, I think it was.
Yeah,
and then it cuts. Daly after work, he goes to his apartment, and in his apartment, he's got this big ass apartment. It's very neat, very clean. He's got a lot of like video game and Space Fleet memorabilia all over the place. It's nice. Like I want that apartment. If I didn't own my own house,
yeah,
I want his apartment.
Here's like I would an apartment that size I would like, but the decor is just the decor of a lonely fuck.
But I liked it.
I mean, it's good if you, but he had nobody to share it with.
Yeah, no, his life sucked for sure.
His life is
he
trash.
has a lot of money and a lot of people that he doesn't know respect him. But the people he knows could care less.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like they say never meet your heroes.
Right.
That's what this dude is just the hero that you just don't ever
Unless your hero is Kevin Smith, then meet him because he's still awesome. I haven't met him, but I'm just gonna hold that.
I'm gonna actually agree with Kevin Smith being your hero. You should meet that guy. But, you know, it's like if your hero's Kevin Spacey.
Don't meet him.
You don't want to meet him because he'll try to fuck your butt. And you're underage. You're like 14.
Don't fuck your butt when you're 14.
Don't let a guy fuck. Don't fuck a 14-year-old butt when you're 30. Ugh.
So Daly sits down at his computer and attaches this little white dot to his temple, like we saw with the people in the wide-eyed phase.
I think they were the beta testers.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or they're employees on break, maybe.
Could be.
Like a company like that, they got to be forward enough to be like, hey, you're on break, go fuck off in Infinity for a while.
That would be like in Grandma's Boy, where their break room was just a giant arcade. Yeah. Oh, that would be so fun. That would
be the best. But he reclines into his chair and starts his game. You see on his computer, it's Infinity with a Space Fleet mod. He loves Space Fleet. It's only right that he has his own mod of the game. And that's where you really realize exactly what that opening scene was.
Yeah.
It's his modded version of the game, and he was in control there. Like, that was his game, his world. So he goes into the game now after having a pretty bad day at work.
Of course.
Walton put him in his place, and everybody disrespected him.
Yeah, like he didn't even get his fucking coffee.
Yeah, at one point he asks, and I'll find his name later in my notes. I don't remember. Starts with a P.
Parker.
Was it Parker?
Well, his last name was Parker. I think his first name was Nate.
Helmsman was his first name.
Right.
But yeah, at one point while he was in the office, I'm going back a little bit. He asks Parker. I think you're right. I think it was Nate. He asks him to get a coffee.
And the dude is like already making coffee. Like
right.
It's not like he took the guy away from his desk to do some shit. The motherfucker was at the coffee machine.
And it's like Keurig type stuff.
Yeah,
it's future coffee that takes, snap your fingers, it's there.
How little respect that you can't take 5 seconds.
And this was literally the only thing that kind of bugged me about this episode, but it still worked with it, was his coffee choice, vanilla latte with skim milk. He said that so many fucking times.
And
And
like,
you know, he may have only said it 3 or 4 times, but it stood
stuck.
out.
Yeah. Well, like it to me, it worked because I mean, vanilla is bland.
He's the douche
Soy
that would
milk
drink a vanilla latte with
is-
skim milk.
is bland. Like he's just a bland, nothing personality. Like he's a fucking genius. He
Yeah,
made
yeah.
this shit, but he just has no concept of human interaction. I
Right.
guess.
But so he goes into the game after having this horrible day at work, and like he's just dogging on the people. They haven't found Baldec. He orders Walton to be his personal ottoman.
Yeah, and like in the context of the game too, like he's fucking with him.
It's the total opposite of what we saw in the beginning.
Yeah, he's just instead of being a heroic, save the day kind of guy, he's just a fucking dick.
But yeah, so he orders Walton to be his personal ottoman. And, like, props his legs up on him as Walton's just like kneeling down
And it's like
on his
not
hands
even
and knees.
it wasn't even a verbal command, really.
No.
It was just like, get your bitch ass over here so I can put my feet on you.
Walton knew exactly what he wanted and he obeyed.
Oh God. I'm torn on who I hated more at that moment. It's just like, and it's not like I'm like in my personal life, I'm not like some dipshit who's always throwing his fucking weight around, quote
It's like-
unquote alpha male shit. It's just like,
It's in this episode you can really look at it as 2 separate worlds with 2 separate bad guys. In the real
Yeah.
world, Walton is the bad guy. He's the douchebag. He's in charge and he's an asshole. But in this fake world, Walton is the exact opposite of that, and Daly is the asshole that's in charge.
yeah, and it's just like somewhere somebody got broken, but it happened to both of them. Like in the real
Right.
world, Daly's the broken one, and fucking Walter's the broken one in the fake world.
Walton.
Fucking it's
Think
Walter.
Walmart.
I don't want to think that.
So, and then he orders Packard to make him a coffee like he had in the real world. He asks him for a vanilla latte with skim milk.
Yeah,
Like
like
he doesn't ask him. He tells him to get him a coffee.
yeah, like his whole day, he's just projecting the shit he wished he would have done
Right.
onto these fucking poor sons of bitches in his fucking game.
He's like that, you're in 3rd grade and the bully, he goes home and is tormented by his parents. He's beat or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes to school and he does that to the other kids.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like I don't feel sorry for bullies. Well, okay, I do a little bit when they're like 8 years old and shit. I guess that
Every sheet of paper has 2 sides.
fucking ugh.
But yeah, so after he takes out some of his real world anger on his coworkers, he seems kind of satisfied. He says exit and he leaves the game. Then the next day at work, Dudani walks over to him and tells him that the rollout date now for the upgrade that they were working on won't be until December 24th.
And this dude's not a dick for doing that
No.
because
He asked permission, and
He was
that was
given it.
that was that absent-minded permission that I talked about
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah, and like because the shit they were talking about again in context was there was a shitload of stuff that they had to do.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have to necessarily, but it was
They
just,
could do, and Daly approved it.
yeah, it's just shit they wanted to do. It's fucking upgrades, and good for them for delivering to the customer.
Which this is kind of bad because if you're paying attention earlier, you know that Walton wants this update before Christmas.
Yeah,
And, the day before Christmas is not ideal.
no, it's super not the right time to be doing stuff.
So after that, Nanette comes in. And again, we're in the real world. Nanette comes in and offers to get him coffee. He asks for a vanilla latte with skim milk.
Because of course he does.
Because he's a boring fuck.
Indeed.
And while she's getting the coffee, Shania, I don't remember how they pronounce her name. I'm reading my notes here. It says Shania, but that doesn't sound right.
It does not sound right,
That
but
could be a typo.
yeah,
I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to call
Nah.
her Shania from now on.
sounds good.
She is the African-American chick with the British accent.
Yeah, and she was goddamn, what was she on the ship?
I don't remember.
I think she's just kind of a generic crew member. She
Yeah,
wasn't
I don't-
she
I
wasn't
mean,
anything special, I don't
yeah,
think.
yeah. But they're kind of talking over the coffee machine, and she tells Nanette not to be too friendly with Daly. Like, Nanette kind of, like, she admits to her that she loves his code, and that's the reason she's wanted to work there and all that.
Yeah, and it's like it doesn't really address specifically whether or not, like, she had a crush on the guy.
Yeah, she thinks he's brilliant.
Yeah, she was super, like, admirable to the guy and, like, just being nice to him, which is, like, it was, like, a kind of a high school kind of, like, thing where, like...
It's like the sophomore girl that has a crush on the senior quarterback.
No. Because, I mean, he was... Like, it was like she had a crush on the punter. Like,
no, because, I mean, in her mind, he is a genius programmer that runs this company. She doesn't know him for himself at this point.
Well, she got a sense of him, but it's I mean, if she had a crush on the quarterback, then she would have a crush on Walter because he was the
Walton.
Fuck you. but like, he was the face of the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like she had a crush on, like, the offensive coach. You know, like, just somebody, like, who was super a key to the thing, but he just wasn't the face of what was going on. But if you're into the detail of the sport, then you understand, like, who the real brains of the operation is, which is a bad...
This has gone...
It's especially for a Packer fan, because, like, Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback and also the engineer. So,
let's backtrack here.
God damn, I mean, that was just terrible, and I apologize. Unless you get what I'm saying, which makes sense in my
I get what you're saying. It's just so far off that I'm going to continue.
Like, I drilled down too far.
Keep going.
I think I just drilled too far into the core.
You did. Yes. But over coffee, they're talking about how much Nanette respects him, and that's why she's there. And Shania tells him that she shouldn't be too friendly with him because he can be a bit starey, is how she puts it. But Daly's actually listening. He's kind of eavesdropping on this conversation.
Like, it's super creeper.
Oh, yeah, he's a creep.
Like, he's hiding behind a fucking wall, and he's got, like, the shifty eyes
he's
looking
like,
back. And
you know, he's the nerdy guy that thinks a girl's finally got a crush on him, so he's wanting to hear and see everything she does.
Yeah. Like, instead of just being confident enough to be like, to, like, catch the signal, I guess, and like, take a shot, he, like, super has to confirm that she likes him like that. And it's like, come on, dude.
But when Shania tells her this, she's like, oh no, I don't like him like that. I just really respect his work. It's merely professional.
Yeah.
And
which, again, could have been a cover in context.
It could have. And he doesn't have to be the douche.
And he doesn't have to be. Just have a little self-respect.
Yeah. Like, just don't expect that exactly what she's saying is exactly what she's feeling.
Like, when
make a move.
I have no sympathy for people that are like that. And I understand it, and but it's pity that I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, this episode, there's pity that you could just hand it out left and right to every little
it's
person.
Fucking everywhere in the show.
But at the same time, there is a lot of paddles that need to be handed around.
Yeah. Like, well, it's the duality between the game that he's in and the real life. It's fucking love this show.
Yep. But yeah, so since he's listening, he decides, fuck her.
Yeah.
So he goes, and at the end of the day, he gets her coffee cup and takes her lid and takes it back to his apartment and sticks it in a little cube machine he's got hooked up to his computer to take her DNA off of it. And he starts uploading her into the game.
Yeah, and it's like a 16-hour process or something like that. So
long.
Which it, you know, in context of the show, again, like, it's impressive that you can just, like, barcode somebody's fucking DNA.
Right.
And so, like, he wrote something that's so good.
If you think about this, what he did, he took her DNA, and at that moment, her DNA had all of her memories and everything, and it stopped at that point where I guess it reached the cup. And then he uploaded into this game, so her memory from that moment goes from her last drink of that coffee, and then waking up in the ship.
Yeah, and that was like the only thing that bugged my nerdy side of it, because like, how does your DNA hold your memories like that?
Yeah.
But
That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, but still, it was like a super impressive thing that you're like, he's not bringing in blank slates to the thing that he can draw whatever the fuck he wants on. Like, they're the people that they were on the outside world.
He has to break them in this game.
He has to do something to get them to cooperate.
And in the game, he has the power.
He's a literal god, but even as a god, he's a fucking shitty dick.
So the next day at work, like it just shows him uploading her into the game, but then it cuts the next day at work. Walton comes in. He's pissed about the update release date being December 24th.
Yeah, and he just busts into the office and just fucking punks Daly.
Right. As they're kind of having this conversation, it's showing Nanette's face, and it's cutting between her and the upload. And once it gets to 100% of her upload, it cuts straight into the USS Callister, where she wakes up on the ship.
Yeah, and it was like the way they shot it too was like super trippy. It was very like 2001, where like it was angled.
Yeah, at first you kind of think she's standing up, but then you realize she's laying down, and they kind of move the camera and as she sits up. It's pretty cool.
It's just shot very like disorientingly, which is just it's just another minor detail of why this fucking show's they got the top tier everything on this
people
fucking
are
show.
So fucking smart. But yeah, she wakes up and she's scared to death. She doesn't know what's going on. She thinks she's dreaming. She's terrified. The crew they explain to her what's going on, that they've all been uploaded into his modded version of the game because they pissed him off in some way.
Yeah, and they're all like out of character.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, fucking Walter's not a bootlicking fuckface, and like everybody's just talking like normal people. And I would imagine it's just
you can see that when Walton is not there, that they are normal people, and that what we'd seen previously of them is just them hamming it up for him because he's a dick that can ruin their existence.
Yeah.
So they're going to do whatever he says.
Yeah, it's just like, it would be, I would imagine it's just like in between takes of a TV show. Like, everybody's standing around drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes.
And that's pretty much what they explain to her. It's like, you've got to just play along, but she doesn't want to fucking play along. And then the game boots up, and they're saying like, he's coming back, and she runs out. She runs out of the bridge down a hallway. She's trying to escape. As she's trying to get through this door, she kind of starts phasing out. She's like beamed back into the bridge of the ship.
Yeah, so there's no, you can't hide from this. Like, you're stuck, and she doesn't, and who would at this point really comprehend what the fuck is going on? But I mean, she's been basically fucking cloned and put into a fucking game, but her clone thinks she's the real her.
Right.
And so she's like, what the fucking shit? And like, this motherfucker can just fucking snap his fingers.
He's the asshole god in charge of everything.
Ugh, and even as a god, he just sucks.
But he tries to convince her. So she's beamed back to the bridge, and he's trying to convince her to play along. She tells him to go fuck himself. So he snaps his fingers, and her face is fucking gone.
Yeah,
she has no nose, no eyes, no mouth.
It was very like the Matrix when they sew Neo's mouth shut at the very beginning. Like, I don't know if that was necessarily the inspiration for it, but that's what I was like. Okay, yeah, so you're not in real life, because that shit does not happen in fucking real life.
Yeah, and she is freaking out. She can't breathe. She's choking, gasping where she can't even gasp because she has nothing to gasp through.
Yeah, it's like, I have no mouth, but I must scream. So, have you ever heard of that?
No.
Oh man, I hate to digress into a tangent that. Okay, I'll try not to make it too long, but okay. So it's a game, and it's like an old school like adventure game, and it ends up that there's some weird AI controlling everything. And if you fuck up or whatever, you get locked. It's like the brain in the jar thing where it's like all a simulation and they're in tremendous amounts of pain and they just want to scream, but they have no mouth. And so it's like, I have no mouth, but I'm a scream. And there's a book based on it. And if you're a super nerd, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I didn't want to go off on too far of a tangent. But yeah, I have no mouth, but I'm a scream.
Okay. Well, obviously she submits. She tells him, "It's like, I can leave you here forever, gasping for breath,
And you won't die.
You won't die, but
Fuck.
you'll never catch your breath. It's just gonna be miserable forever and
Jesus.
ever and ever and ever and ever."
Just
So-
what a sadist piece of
Right.
shit.
So obviously she submits, and he gives her face back. But then they find Baldek. So they go on a mission down to this planet to fight against him, to try to get this crystal or whatever it is back from him.
Yeah,
Which
whatever.
it's all in Daly's mind. I don't really care at this point what exactly it is they're trying to do in this storyline in the game.
Yeah, it's
It's the characters that I'm paying attention to at this point. So I didn't write that down. I didn't really catch on to it.
doofy fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't
basically.
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't at
But
all.
so he makes Nanette go with him, and she's still not really having it. She's confused and scared.
Yeah, and she's like she talks to Parker while they're wandering through this planet, and she's like, "Give me your fucking gun. Let's just shoot this guy."
Yeah.
And Parker's like,
He puts it up to his head. He's like, "It doesn't fucking
"It
work."
does nothing."
And he gets his phone, he's got this little handheld thing that he does fucking everything with. He's like scanning the horizon and all kinds of shit.
It's a tricorder.
Yeah, so it starts kind of ringing, and he's like, "Oh, my pizza's here," and he says, "Pause game," and he just kind of freezes in place. And as soon as he freezes in place after saying "pause game," everyone just kind of relaxes.
Yeah, they just drop character and
they're all talking amongst themselves. Like, they're all talking to Baldek. He was obviously someone that Daly had brought into the game and made him the bad guy. Oh, and we forgot to mention
The
an
alien.
alien shows
Yeah.
up, and she's like this terrified alien. And at one point, Walton's like, "Oh, we're all gonna die!" And when he pauses the game, the alien kind of slouches down, and he starts talking to her like it's
Jeanette
somebody-
from marketing.
Yeah, it's Jeanette from marketing. So
Yeah. And like and at this point, like if I'm trapped in this fucking game, like knowing that when he pauses, he's completely out of the fucking game. Like I'm kicking him in his fucking nuts the entire time the game's paused.
Click with Adam Sandler.
Yes.
when
When he farts in David Hasselhoff's face.
he punches him over and over again.
Oh man.
Yes,
Yeah.
do that.
Oh, that's exactly
Oh.
what you do in that situation.
Anyway, so yeah, and he gets his pizza in real life, and then he comes back into the game, and they all get back into character.
And while this is paused too, like they're just expositioning more shit about what's going on. Like, you know,
Yeah,
his little tricorder thing controls the whole fucking world, and just you're stuck and it's fucking helpless and just it's bright and grim at the same time. And it was beautiful for my tortured
It is.
soul.
It's like everything looks so fun and happy, but it's so not
fake. It's fake. It's people who it's fuckers who say, "Oh, you're sad, just smile and then everything will be all right." You know? Like you can gold plate a piece of shit, but it's still a pice of shit.
It'll still smell like shit. It'll still taste like shit.
Well, I mean,
Don't
I
put
don't
it in
know
your mouth.
why you would do that in the first place, but you know, I'm not here to kink shame.
He comes back, and the face off with Baldek kind of continues. He says something like, "Hey, look, a naked woman," or something like that.
And it's so
It's like
bad.
it's like he's trying to play this game and continue this fake conversation that he knows is fake. He knows no matter what he does, he's gonna win.
yeah.
And he's just so not creative. He's just like, "Oh, hey, look, a naked woman."
Yeah.
And Baldek's like, "Ooh, where?"
And he turns, and it reminded me of, and I know you've recently watched The Office,
Uh-huh.
but when Michael Scott is talking about how he would love to go against Robin Williams in improv, and he goes, "I'm Mork from Mork," and then Michael Scott's like, "I'm Schmork from Bork." Like he wants to be good at this thing,
Yeah,
and
and
he's
just
just
not.
shit
He's
at
not.
it. But he's in a place where he's a fucking god, so everybody has to just play along with his fucking terribleness. Ugh, I hated him.
But Baldac's like, oh, where? And he looks over and Daly shoots him. He falls off the cliff and he's like halfway dead and he's begging Daly to kill him.
Yeah.
Finally put him out of his misery, get him out of this horrible existence that
And the
he
way-
knows is bullshit.
Like the way he did it was so great too, because he was just like, I've been a good adversary, right? And like he's just laying there bloody and fucking broken. He's just like, just please give me this one thing. And of course Daly's a fucking douche, and he's like, no,
like, no,
put him in the brig.
I think I'll spare you. Put him in the brig.
Oh, because of there's no killing of an unarmed person in Space Fleet.
has rules.
Just fuck you, dude.
Arbitrary rules that Daly has made up to torture people.
I mean, they may have even been real shits in the show. But,
In the show,
you know,
but
he just
this is all in his
he
head
applies
for the most
the
part.
rules arbitrarily.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
So back on the ship, everybody's celebrating. It's a good day. Mission accomplished.
And it's just so douchey. They're like hip hip hooray.
For he's a jolly good
Oh,
fellow.
God, it made my balls shrink into my body.
But so Daly goes in and tries to kiss Nanette, and she slaps him, and everybody's like, "Oh!" And Walton, he goes, "Oh my fuck!"
They're in the middle of saying, and he's a jolly good. Oh my fuck! Oh man, that really made me laugh.
Yeah,
he's such a good actor.
I had
love
tears
him.
because I was laughing so hard at "Oh my fuck." But he decides to show her mercy, and he leaves. Exit game. And, obviously, as soon as exit game says and he disappears, they all kind of slash. Like,
Yeah,
oh, thank God,
yeah,
it's
everybody
finally
drops
fucking over.
character.
And she's pissed off. And they're telling her, like, oh, you get used to the kissing. He never uses tongue. There's no tongue in Space Fleet.
Yeah,
And they go
which
into...
leads to
They have no genitals.
oh man,
There's no genitals in Space Fleet.
and so McPoyle is or Walter
He drops trow.
He drops trow and just shows. And there was
Kendall.
Dogma.
Okay.
When Alan Rickman. Yeah. And there's just nothing there. It was just that. But then he just says like, I mean, they're talking about just missing everything, and the one chick is just like, I just miss taking a shit. You can't even take a shit.
Yeah. And Nanette, she's like, oh fuck, what did she say? She's like, you take my pussy that's crossing a red line.
Oh man. And then so McPoyle was like, yeah, we tried bashing our genitals up against each other just to see what would happen, and we got nothing. And I'm like, that's too close to home for me right now.
You bashing your genitals against things?
I just, you try and slam it in the refrigerator
Just to
door,
see what
and
happens.
just like, so lonely.
Okay, what does this sink faucet do? Anyways, where were we? Man,
that part was like the great. I knew that was going to be the greatest tangent.
Okay, so after this whole genital reveal and whatnot, Nanette comes up with a plan in her own mind, kind of, to where they can get. She just wants to get out so bad. She's gonna figure it out. So she decides to try to hack in to reach the front end of the game, so that would allow her to send an invite to herself to join the game, to allow them to kind of figure out how they can get out of it.
Yeah, and the catalyst of this was they're looking at like the view screen thing, and all of a sudden like just something opens up, like it looks like a fucking just a tear in space.
Right.
And so
it makes them realize that they are connected to the internet.
Yeah, because meanwhile back in the real world, like they know about the update that's coming.
Right.
And so this is the application of the patch.
Inside of the game, she's the only one that actually knows about this update.
Yeah, because she's the most recent. Like, and I guess we didn't really address this, but when she first got onto the ship, the other people were asking, like, Walter was like, am I still thin?
Yeah.
And the one guy was like, I'm still an intern? Like, what the fuck? So, like, they've been in there for a while, and she's the most recent one. So she, puts two and two together, realizes the game is expressing itself internally by this wormhole that's opening up because they're applying the patch that's dropping on Christmas Eve.
And Dudani, he's like, no, you can't hack that. I've tried. And he's this master programmer, but she's just like, fuck you. I haven't tried.
Right?
And she
Just
fucking does it.
smug.
She hacks it within minutes and sends herself an invite to join the game. Well, and then in the real world, the real Nanette asked Daly, he's like, hey, did you send me an invite to play Infinity?
Yeah, and on the invite itself, it's like one of those things where you can send somebody like something that's attached to like
It's like,
a
join
game.
me here, leave a message.
Yeah,
There's fucking people trapped in here.
and that was it. There's people trapped in Daly's computer, which in the real world context makes no goddamn sense
Right.
whatsoever.
And so she asks him, he's like, did you send me this? He's like, oh no, it's probably just spam. You didn't open it, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, no, I didn't open it. And that ends that. He's pissed. He knows exactly what's up because she told him. He's like, somebody sent me an invite and says there's people trapped in your fucking computer.
Right.
So he goes into the game and he's not happy. Nanette takes all of the blame and Shania begs him to spare Nanette. So he does, but he turns Shania into a giant space monster tarantula thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was fucking gruesome.
It was pretty cool though.
It was like
Visually it was cool.
Yeah, it was like the episode from last season where the guy plugged into like the horror video game and like there were the weird effects that he was seeing in
Yeah,
real life,
yeah.
like the weird spider with the guy's face or whatever the fuck it was.
She sees that wormhole and she realizes that it's the update being patched in. And so she comes up with this plan that they need to go through this wormhole, that it would basically end their existence.
Yeah. Yeah, and like because they I guess they would be different code or something.
Well, she
than what they
knows that the game would see them, that they don't belong there, so it would delete them.
It would just
that's
yeah.
what she believes would happen, and they fucking run with it. But
except for
Walton
yes.
doesn't want to go with that plan because Daly. So he kind of goes through the story about how he in the real world brought his son to work one day, and his son had. Did he ever say his son's name?
Tommy.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Before that, he was saying that okay, so Walter was the first.
Keep saying Walter.
I'm gonna keep saying,
and it's bugging the shit out of me.
I'm gonna start saying McPoyle then because
that's fine. I you know what? That's weird, but I'm more fine with McPoyle than Walter.
Well, I'm a troll, so he's Walter now. So Walter, he's you see from the beginning where he puts his fucking feet on the guy, like he's broken.
Oh yeah. Oh
completely. Yeah. Like I mean, when that dude is around, he's fucking broken. When he's not around, he's like fuck everything. But so he's going through the story. If he Daly tried everything to fucking break Walter, like he tried fucking everything he could think of, and nothing worked because Walter's like fuck you. He's fuck it, and there's not shit you can do to me. I know this is all fake. Go fuck yourself. Until he brought his kid into work one day.
Yeah.
And fucking shithead took a lollipop that he had, scanned his DNA, brought him into the fucking game, and made him watch his fucking kid die. And that's
the way he did it though. Like, so he brings Tommy into the game and says like, "Hey, look, here's Tommy."
Yeah, like look what I have.
And then he sticks him into a little compartment that has a outside facing door and opens it so that
he blows the airlock.
Walton has to watch his son get sucked into space and die.
And just like the fucking description too was like you
as a dad, just thinking about having to watch any one of my kids get sucked out into space and freeze to death and
they crack.
That's
like even as not a guy with kids, I'm like, that's fucked up, dude.
In the beginning, we were talking about how Walton has these two sides. You see the real world version of him. He's a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
And you almost wish that this shit would happen to him. But then you see the side of him where this shit's happening to him. And you see how horrible Daly is. How fucked up he is to put a guy through watching his son die.
Yeah, it's
in
like
a gruesome way.
the punishment does not fit the crime.
No,
at all.
No,
I mean, it's
that's why Daly comes out as being the ultimate bad guy in this episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, like I said, from the jump, I just didn't have any sympathy for this fucking fucker. And then after this whole bit, I'm just like, there's no matter whatever the worst thing that could happen to you, I'm okay with it.
We're getting really close to the end. I want to interject here with a quick. This is just off topic, totally off topic. My wife just texted me. So I think
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we've mentioned in previous episodes I have a new cat. Like I guess the newest cat, FN2187.
I hate
Finn.
your references.
My cat Finn. He's a Maine Coon. He's a big ass fucking cat, but he's just a kitten.
He's
huge.
God, is he big?
He's only like 9 months old, and he's like twice the size of our fucking 9-year-old cat.
Yeah, like I mean, he's fucking 25% bigger.
Anyways,
than my
he
full-grown cat.
has the worst smelling shits of any cat I've ever smelled in my life. So we're trying out different foods, trying to find something that
there's
doesn't
nothing you can
destroy
do.
my house.
No,
Well,
you're fucked.
We just decided that we are going to do this, and Amy, my wife, went to PetSmart and bought some new food. But with the way the deals were working out, it was cheaper to get this giant ass like 20-pound bag than to get the smaller bag. So she got it, and this new food smells so much worse. So she just texted me and said this new food makes him smell so much worse than he did before. So now we've got like 20 pounds of this cat food to go through, dealing with even worse smell before we can try something new.
You are fucking in for it for months now. Good luck with that whole thing.
And that's Randall's Random Corner.
Boing. That's the noise.
No, I like it. It's staying. Okay, so with Walton having to go through, do you like how I just jumped right back in there after talking about cat shit for a minute?
I mean, fucking
Focus.
jumping tracks,
Focus.
man.
Laser beams.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
Then
place.
you lost it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
fucking lost it.
So, yeah, after he explains having to watch his kid die and all this, he explains, he doesn't want to go along with the plan that we haven't explained yet, but we will get to, that Nanette has come up with for how they're gonna end their existence, really.
And it's understandable because again, going back to him just fucking pointing his hand at her and fucking turning her face off.
He's God.
Like there's nothing he can't do in this, so it's like, why even fucking try? Because you're just gonna fuck yourself.
I was
over.
about to say almost literally God, but in their case, he is literally God. He created their existence.
Yeah.
He can not end it for their torment in however he sees fit.
Yeah, like he can send them to hell. And for because it's a fucking program. They're not going to age. They can't even poop.
They feel like they're in hell, but it could get so much worse than it is. So they want things to... Walton specifically doesn't want anything to get worse. So he doesn't want to go along with his plan because he knows that Daly could just bring back his son again, kill him in some other crazy way.
Yeah.
And torment him. He's got to watch his son die in some other horrible fashion.
And it turns Walton... Fuck you. It turns Walter it turns Walter into a more sympathetic character, even despite his douchiness in the real world.
When he explains the whole thing with his son, that's the first time you really actually start to feel bad for him. Before this, you're just like, oh, he's just a douche he's a douche that's doing whatever he has to do to not be tortured.
Yeah.
But now you see, he's got a son and he cares for this kid. He doesn't want to watch this kid die.
Yeah, it's not his own suffering that is an issue with him. It's just the fucking... Because, I mean, they're... his kid existed in this universe and got shot into fucking space and died. Even though it's a copy of the kid, it's, again, had all the memories and all that shit.
It's the same thing as these people in this game are not really living this life in this game. as that kid wasn't really living that short amount of life he had in the game, but to them it is real. It is their life.
Yeah,
that,
they feel it.
that pain.
They have all the memories.
So even though he didn't really kill a kid in real life, that short version of that kid that had all the memories of that entire kid's life, he felt that. He actually died.
Yeah.
It's like you take a piece of cake. I haven't had sugar in almost a year.
Yeah, all your metaphors are going to be devolving into Twinkies and cake.
You take a piece of cake, right? You've got a whole cake. You cut a slice of cake out, then you throw it in the trash. I don't know where I was going with this. I'm going to get some... No.
Oh, my God. You are rambling.
Beers.
Yeah.
So...
We need to do acid.
I don't need to do acid. My government job would not like that.
Oh, they would hate that. You can cut this entire fucking part out, but God.
No, we can leave that.
All
I mean,
right.
I said I'm not going to do acid. I'm
not
going to do acid.
Yeah, well, this is just a little preview for a story that I'm going to tell.
Hold on.
day.
Not even my government job wouldn't like that. My wife would kill me.
She would beat your ass, and that's just why I'm encouraging it even more, because I kind of want to watch that
You
shit
just want
happen.
to watch me get beaten up by a girl half my size.
She
could.
She destroyed you over only reading the headlines one time, and I forget what we were recording, but we paused, and she just ripped you apart for doing that.
Oh, yeah. That was the
been.
Snopes episode.
Yes. No, it wasn't the Snopes episode.
Sure?
She wasn't on that. It was before the Snopes episode.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember what the fuck
she was on the Snopes episode.
No, I know she was on the Snopes episode, but she had come home in the middle of us recording.
Oh, no. It was the one night she came out to Snowball Studio 37.
No, it wasn't that either. No, it was when we were recording in your living room with the Yeti microphone still.
That was the Snopes episode.
She was there.
Okay,
the
this
entire
argument is
time.
moot. Let's continue.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know what you're talking about. We're just not agreeing on when it happened.
Yeah,
It's fine.
she crushed you, and it was great.
She crushes me daily. Breaks my spirit. I
I
love her, but
you're half a man.
I'm a quarter of a man. So Nanette promises that with this plan, they will get all of their DNA, not only his son's, but all of the crew members' DNA out of Daly's fridge so that they all can't be brought back into this horrible existence.
Yeah, so they're gonna fucking suicide, but that's gonna be the end of it. Because I think maybe Walter had talked about suiciding earlier, and he was just brought back. Which actually I don't.
No,
really
he
know how
was
that would
making a
work.
joke. He was banging his head on the desk.
Yeah, just to feel
And
something.
Parker was like, "Fucking stop!" He's like, "I'm trying to make it a hobby."
Goddamn McPoyle. He's so good.
But so, okay, let's talk about her plan. We've been kind of being vague about it. Now that everyone's on board, her plan is they're going to blackmail the real world Nanette.
Yeah.
She's got some risque photos on her iCloud account,
Right.
which I thought that was kind of funny that they actually used iCloud.
I don't think they said
No, they
specifically iCloud.
literally said iCloud.
Nah,
They did.
You're mistaken.
No.
You are mistaken.
No.
They did not.
I swear. All right, anybody listening, tweet me at DWTK Podcast. Tell me if I'm wrong. They said iCloud.
I'm gonna tweet you right now and tell you you're wrong, because
Yeah,
I don't have a Twitter.
Your Twitter doesn't count because you gave it away to an old man
son of
that
a
only
bitch.
talks to Trump.
He's so mad.
Angry Isaac.
Okay.
Okay, anyways, man, this is a long episode.
Yeah. We're tangenting.
Whoa,
like a
we are all
motherfucker.
over. But man, the energy's high tonight.
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier about how on season 3 of Black Mirror, like I was excited about every episode and I loved every episode and it was so much fun talking about it. But with my notes, I just kind of droned. Like I just kind of read them. Was like, and then this happened, and then we would kind of talk about it. Okay, and then this happened. And
Yeah,
But
I mean,
depending
depending on the episode, sometimes you were flat, and then sometimes you were excited.
Maybe it's because this episode was just that fucking good, but I feel like tonight our energy just overall has been so much higher than the previous Black Mirror episodes.
I've been hyped about.
No, you've always been hyped,
Yeah,
but
like
I'm the one reading the notes for the most part. And I tend to drone, but I don't think I've been droning tonight.
No, well, because you're not fucking sticking to script on it. Like I said, we're tangenting.
Well, I wasn't really sticking to script last time, but I didn't have the energy. Let's move on.
You gotta re-listen to
tangents, man. We're just killing it.
Downfall, because that was the one we recorded in my fucking kitchen.
Downfall was the military one?
No, Downfall was the social media rating.
That was Nosedive.
Nosedive, that's the one. But
okay,
yeah,
I see what you did there. I got you.
Okay. Oh fuck. Okay.
What
are we at? Like 2.5 hours?
No, we're only at an hour and 20 before editing.
Okay.
Before editing we've had major technical issues tonight that you won't hear. God, hopefully I can clean it up. My microphone went crazy for a little bit.
Yeah, it was spiking like a son of a bitch.
So if you did hear that a little while ago, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to make it not so bad. If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, then I did my job well.
It's like in Futurama when Bender meets God. He's like, if you do your job well enough, nobody knows you did shit. And sometimes I feel like, you do your job well enough. I don't know you fucking did anything.
Yeah. So let's talk about this plan.
Yeah.
She wants to blackmail herself in the real world with her iCloud account because she has some like nudie pics.
Yeah.
And we see a couple of them. They're kind of nice. Not so nudie.
Lingerie.
But, yeah.
And like there was no boobs at all this season.
There wasn't. No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there wasn't.
No?
No, there was some last season with the military.
No,
one.
wait. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember the military one where they thought
I remember that.
And he got
I was thinking in Hang the DJ, wasn't there some?
No.
No?
It was covered. Like
Okay.
you got side boob.
There was, because there was, I do remember specifically in Hang the DJ, which we will get to in a couple weeks, there were some sex scenes, and I was thinking there were some.
No, she was on top, but no nip.
All right, I'm going to take your word for it. I'll
Yeah.
rewatch it, and we can argue about it later if I find that you're wrong.
I won't be.
Okay, that's fine.
I never am.
God, where
okay, so on the she's
gonna blackmail herself to force the real world Nanette to do what they need her to do so that they can make the rest of the plan happen. So, all right, step one, she's got to break into Daly's apartment after ordering a pizza for him. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to kind of break this up a little bit. I'm gonna walk through the real world Nanette's part in the plan, and then we'll go back to the in-game Nanette part of the plan.
Yeah,
real world,
like that's the way the show kind of it did it.
So real world Nanette has to order a pizza for Daly. Then she has to break into his apartment, wait for the pizza to arrive. When it arrives, he comes out of the game, goes to the door to get the pizza. While he's there, she's got to
break in through the patio.
Yeah, she's breaking in through the patio, steals the DNA that's in his mini fridge, and replaces his little temple chip for getting into the game with a fake.
Yeah.
On the inside of the game, she convinces him to, he comes into the game and she says, "Hey, this planet has a crashed ship."
Yeah, and like when he comes back, like after they develop the plan, like she's super in character.
Oh yeah,
she's unbelievably so. Yeah, and I'm like that.
But he's so deluded that he's like, "Fuck yeah, she's finally here."
Yeah, and I could not pull that off. Like I can't deal with people I hate. I just can't.
I think in that kind of circumstance, I want to say I could do it.
Yeah,
but I guess it just depends on how well the other actors around me are working.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to have encouragement, I guess, but fucking.
Yeah, so she
unless
says
I'm getting
that
paid, then I'll deal with
life
whatever.
is the payout here.
Death is the payout. Yeah.
So she convinces him, "Hey, there's this ship crashed on this planet. Let's go check it out, but only take me because
I'm new.
And I need
to learn
you
the
need
ropes.
to show me what's going on here."
Yeah.
And they get down to this planet, and she convinces him to go swimming. He doesn't want to.
By stripping down.
Yeah.
Which, fuck that chick. Oh my god, she's fucking gorgeous.
She basically, he doesn't want to. He's like, "This is official duty. We can't do this on Space Fleet's dime." And she's like, "But you could say that I fell in and I was drowning.
Yeah.
You had to save me." She's like, oh, all right.
And
So-
in the meantime, like the communicator thing is open, so like up on the ship, they're being
Yeah.
able to follow and know
Yeah.
when they need to do what they got to do.
So she strips down and gets in the water. He strips down, puts all his clothes and the communicator, like his main control of the entire game is sitting
Yeah.
on top of his clothes. And while him and Nanette are out in the water playing, splashing each other and stuff in this super awkward fashion, up in the ship, Dudani beams that communicator back up to them, and they call the real world Nanette to give her plan. Like they tell her exactly what she needs to do, what we explained a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and so McPoyle Walter is the one. Walter McPoyle is his new name, but he's the one. He's the one who's giving her the directions, and they kind of use one of those like voice masker.
Yeah. So
type deals,
she doesn't
but-
recognize him.
But like I could tell it was him.
Yeah. No. Well, every
Yeah.
once in a while it cut and it was clear.
Well, no, it was even when it was like even when they were trying to distort it, I was just like, I was thinking they were gonna turn it into a thing that they just ended up not doing anything with. But he sounded like himself, basically, to the point where I could recognize it, and in context, like I think she would have been able to, also. So it was just like a little stumble,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, 9 out of 10 is still pretty fucking good.
But so they give her instructions, and in the real world, she does everything she has to do. So once she's done, she's back outside. He comes back from getting his pizza, and
Oh, and they really fucked with him too by like the delivery guy was like, there's supposed to be an extra $30 tip or something.
yeah.
And so he had to sit there and fucking argue with the guy for a few more minutes, and yeah, so like they really
They
detailed,
milked it.
bought themselves some
while
fucking time.
while he's with the pizza guy, the in-game Nanette, she runs up to the shore and gets beamed back up to the ship, so that when he comes back after getting his pizza, he's on this island in the water by himself
yeah,
with no communicator.
yeah,
So in the ship, the full crew minus Daly makes their break to the wormhole.
yeah, they just take the
they
fuck
fly
off.
off heading towards the wormhole. Daly kind of realizes what's going on. He runs to the ship, and
Yeah,
the crashed ship.
Yeah, the crash shuttle that they were there to check out in the first place.
And he takes that and chases after them, basically. They're on this high-speed chase through space. That was very rhythmic.
That was really like alliterative. I don't know.
It wasn't... It was
wasn't
nice. It was just good.
Yeah.
It made me feel good inside.
Way to go, Walt Whitman.
Beer. In this chase, they're almost to the wormhole, and they lose their fucking engines.
Well, no, they okay. So they're running out of time, and there's an asteroid belt in between
Oh,
them
yeah, I
and the
skipped that, didn't
wormhole. Yeah, and so trying to go around it the safe way, they're just not going to make
It's
it in
not
time.
enough
So
time.
they have to fly through the asteroid belt, and of course they're in a giant fucking ship, and it's a very tightly packed asteroid belt, which, just being a nitpicking son of a bitch, whenever they talk about flying through asteroid belts in shows or whatever, you know, they're like, oh, it's going to be so fucking difficult. It's like 3,700 to 1 that you're actually going to hit it, because it's so, space is big as
It's
fuck.
huge. And yes, an asteroid belt has a lot. It can have a lot of asteroids, but there's space between
They're
them.
so far apart from each other that you're just not gonna. But you know, I mean, you got to make drama for the fucking show.
Right. And one of these asteroids hits the ship and knocks out their engines.
Yeah, and it's like right as they get to the edge of it too, so they're just drifting. Like they're in no danger from getting smashed by another one, but it's like asteroid ex machina that just fucking knocked out their engines, and now they're fucking drifting.
They're just kind of stuck floating.
Yeah, as the wormhole obviously is still
slowly
fucking
towards
closing.
the wormhole, but not fast enough to get there.
Right.
So the only way to actually restart their engines and get going, Walton goes back to sacrifice. God damn it! He sacrifices himself. Basically, you flip this switch, you burn to death without actually dying.
Well, there was, and like his speech too was, because he opened up the comm to
So he's talking to Daly the whole time
Daly.
he's about to do this.
and he's like, you know, Daly's fucking threatening him and just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna fuck you up so bad, and just Walter is like, you know, I just want to apologize.
He's like,
You
no,
were-
he
you
didn't.
were
Say, he didn't say that. He said,
He said sorry.
He said he basically apologized. He said, like, you're brilliant. You created this. Blah blah blah. I took advantage of you. I got fat off of the profits.
Yeah. You were the golden goose.
Figuratively.
Yeah.
He was like, and I would say that, but you're a fucking dick.
You threw my kid out of an airlock, so fuck you.
Yeah. And he flips a switch, burns alive.
Yeah, he got torched by fucking something.
And the Callister takes off through the wormhole. They go into the wormhole, and you could almost think of it as Ben Affleck and Matt Damon walking through the church arches in Dogma, negating all existence. Daily.
Wow, you're reaching on that one. Like, my note on that is I really love the cheesy effects that they did.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, it was like stretching and
yeah, it was like super 60s. Like, we're just figuring out how to do special effects shit, and yeah, like everybody's all stretched out and fucking weird looking. I was like, yeah, bitch.
But so they're gone through the wormhole. It closes, and Daly's left behind in his modded version of the game. But now Infinity in the cloud recognizes that this modded version of the game exists, so it starts deleting it. He has no controls over his ship. He can't do anything. He can't get out of the game.
He's not, because he's not patched now. Like, he's a version, like, he's Windows XP now, and they're in Windows 7.
Right.
And Microsoft has stopped supporting Windows XP fucking immediately.
He's fucked. He is dead in the water, and there's nothing he can do about it.
He can't even, like, his ship don't fucking work, for one. And then he's like, exit game, and the game's like, what?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
So I'm gonna kind of jump ahead before I go back a little bit, just to close up Real World Daily. His consciousness is stuck in this deleting, which I'm assuming once it's deleted, his consciousness is just gone. But it shows him in the real world laying in his chair with his wide eyes and the chip on his head,
and he's fucking drooling.
He's done. He's out for the count.
Yeah,
no more Real World Daily. Callister Inc. does not have to deal with their CTO anymore.
And like, it was great that the way they did it, because even like throwing back to when they applied the patch, it was December 24th, and as Shania was leaving the Real World company, she was telling Nanette, get the fuck out of here and get your 10-day vacation. So that, like, they really closed the fucking...
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, they closed that because,
now he's going to be sitting there drilling for 10 days.
Yeah.
He's done.
He's dead, like, regardless of what happened to his consciousness, because they didn't explicitly say he got deleted.
Yeah.
He may have just been stuck there.
He said that, or the computer told him that his mod is deleting. He's inside the mod, so I'm assuming that his consciousness is deleted with the game itself.
And they never... And you might be right, but they just never really close that, because as they're showing this, the pieces of the universe are just breaking off into being nothingness, but his ship is like still there.
Yeah, like the lights just go out, but he's still there.
Yeah.
Like, you can hear him, you just can't see him.
Yeah, so even if his consciousness, like, he could have been just stuck there.
His consciousness could be in like a purgatory where it's just black.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, there's just nothing forever until he like actually dies in the real world.
Yeah.
Which nobody's gonna come check on him because he's a fucking
and nobody cares.
Douchey fucking shit, and they've got 10 days.
I mean,
off.
Eventually, but it would probably be well after the 10 days is over.
Yeah, because just dehydration.
So you're looking at
like
least 2 weeks
days.
of him sitting like that.
Yeah.
But then back in the game, the crew of the USS Callister, after going through their warp thing where they're stretching and squeezing and just morphing all weird and screaming and stuff.
Yeah.
They kind of awake.
They didn't die.
Yeah, they are on the bridge of a different ship. It's a more modern looking ship. It's a ship that's actually a part of Infinity.
Yeah.
They are out of the mod. They're in the cloud. They're a part of the real game that's open for everyone. So, like, if this was reality, you and I could jump in our ship and get in there and go hang out with these people that are actually existing only inside of the game, but not computers, right? So
yeah, they're part of the real game now.
Yeah, like the game is now their reality, and they are in control of themselves for the first time in their existence.
They got their genitals back.
They did. They
checked.
Have peepees in their VVs.
They fucking checked, and they had them.
But so Nanette becomes captain. She decides, hey, let's let's go fuck off in this unlimited universe that we now have full reign over. So it kind of ends with them going off into this random quadrant of space, and they find Gamer 691, and that's where they realize that, hey, we're in the cloud. This is a real person.
Yeah.
That we can interact with. And he's like, hey, you got something you want to trade with me? And they're like, no. And he's like, well, why the fuck you come into my quadrant? Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to blow you to pieces or something like that. And
Jesse.
Gamer 691 is Jesse. Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Yes, indeed.
And so like they fuck off and go off to another part of space in the end.
Yeah.
It was such a fun episode.
It was fucking great. And then like during the episode, of course, the patch dropped on Christmas Eve, but the music that was playing after they came through the wormhole was Silent Night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I am about to pee on myself.
Indeed.
We are at about the hour and a half mark, so I'm going to call this Don't Wake the Kids for the week. That is Black Mirror, Season 4, Episode 1, USS Callister. John?
Guys, we got
5 more of these.
There's 5 more of these coming, so we're doing our own miniseries, bitch.
We're doing it. I'm happy. I'm so happy with how this season in general has turned out. I'm excited to walk through it all with you.
Yes, indeed.
And I just want you all to know that I love you.
Angry, but I'm sorry. I don't care.